Ladies, are you the one who gets it all done? Always pushing forward, always striving, in the constant chase for success. When was the last time you took a moment just for you? We are always on the go, rushing from one task to the next, barely pausing to catch our breath. What if we took a moment to pause? Imagine listening in, really listening to the wind, your heartbeat, your soul. What if slowing down was the key? A chance to discover a deeper connection with yourself. And from that connection, expand it to those you love, to the moments that truly matter. Pause, reflect, connect. It's time to live fully from the inside out.
Hello and welcome to a Soulful Pause. I'm Josette Diaz and I'm a self-awareness coach and creative strategist for women in midlife. And I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today because we are going to be speaking of something that you probably already know. And I'm pretty sure you may or may not have thought of it this way. So that is burnout. There's a kind of exhaustion that shows up with this familiar experience that all of us have around burnout. And there's this way that it shows up where you feel completely drained and exhausted, especially in midlife, and rest just does not fix it. It's not about being busy, overwhelmed. It's a lot deeper than that. And if you're listening and thinking, I shouldn't feel this tired, and I've handled harder things than this. Why am I so tired? We're always asking that question of ourselves. Now, this isn't to, bypass any kind of other physical ailments you might be going through or anything like that. This is just simply a conversation around what burnout can be in midlife. So if you are, thinking that you've handled harder things and you can't understand why you feel so exhausted all the time, then stay with me because you're going to want to hear this. What you're feeling may not be burnout in the way that you've been taught to understand it. It may be the moment survival has completed its work. So think about that for a moment. Most women didn't consciously choose survival mode. It was formed through responsibility, through caregiving, through being the reliable one in the family. How many of you have that? And through adapting emotionally, reading the rooms, holding families together, teams together, systems together. This is how survival formed itself. Survival mode is an intelligence. It's resourceful. It's effective. It efficiently moved you through life. It helped you to dream up your adult identities. It guided you through the obstacles of adolescence and early adulthood, all the way through until you felt the occasional awakenings in your mid-30s. And by the end of your 40s, those feelings are pretty present and they become more front and center. And survival mode works. It definitely works until it doesn't. And midlife is often when all of the known ways you have accomplished things or approached problems begin to feel heavy instead of protective. Not because something has gone wrong, it's because something has outgrown its original purpose. So I'm going to share a quick story with you. When I was in my mid 40s, a friend of mine came over with a bottle of wine, and we hadn't seen each other in quite a while. And I typically would have maybe a glass of wine, only maybe once or twice a month. So I've never been a very big drinker. And, I've had my moments when I was younger. And so we finished this bottle of wine. And I realized about 1 a.m. when I was on the bathroom floor that I could never do this again. That it was too exhausting. It was not something I wanted to be doing in my mid 40s. And I got the message pretty loud and clear. What I told myself, though, was that I was too old for that. And really, what was happening underneath that was that I had a maturity level that didn't match the actions that I was taking. And so I recognized that it was something that I could no longer do or have in my life, nor did I want to. It didn't feel like it felt good to me. I didn't want to be that woman. That's not the woman that I am. And so now I'd like to just kind of take a moment and get kind of grounded in this concept of, survival mode starts to rub up against you in a way that you think you're burned out, yet you're not. It has nothing to do with that. And so let's ground in with some important research around this. Burnout research actually confirms that many women already know. Christina Maslach, excuse me, who is a PhD, developed the most widely used burnout framework. And she clarifies this in the following quote: Burnout is not caused by people doing too much. It's caused by people doing too much of what no longer matters to them. And let that sink in. It's significant because midlife is when what matters changes. Your values mature, your inner truth becomes louder, your external validation stops motivating in the same way. How many of us can relate to that? And we enter what I call our second adolescence. So, burnout isn't a personal failure. And I think we think that because when we feel like, oh, we can't handle it, we just can't handle it, we did something wrong. It's not about that. It's not a personal failure. It's a values mismatch. Your inner compass is asking for a recalibration. Developmental developmental psychology, that word always trips me up, supports this too. Eric Erickson describes midlife as the shift from achievement to meaning, from can I do this to is this truly mine? Survival mode is achievement oriented. Think about that. When you're in survival mode, you're looking to achieve, right? And then when you're in soul-led living, it's meaning oriented. Connection's more important to you. Other things are more important to you. What they mean is more important. Midlife is that crossing point. And crossings, let's face it, are disorienting by nature, right? They get us all kind of mixed up a bit. And when I think about that, I think about something that I went through this year. I had a lot of logistical tasks that were on my plate for this year. And every time I thought of them, I felt so drained. My energy would lower. I would feel a lot of resistance towards it. And maybe because I was dealing with some things from the past that needed to be resolved and put to bed, that is most likely where that came from. The important piece here, though, is that even though I was going through this, like, really having to sort of get myself going to get things done, I didn't recognize the survival technique that I'd been using all these years. And that was to brace myself. I discovered that I was holding my breath, bracing myself every time I had to handle one of these logistical tasks that I had on my plate. And so, what did that do? It turned it around for me. When I realized that I was holding my breath and bracing and that I was in survival mode around getting logistical tasks done in my life, I was able to meet it differently because I have gained enough experience. I have gained enough wisdom. I have the confidence that I need to complete these tasks. And I also started to recognize that anything coming my way was something that I was most likely going to be able to handle. And if I couldn't handle it myself, I knew how to get help. And so that helped me breathe. And I still have to remind myself, I'll catch myself on occasion still bracing because it's been with me all my life. It's been my protector all my life. And so these are the moments that we need to give ourselves grace in our midlife when we are working through these survival techniques that were from our childhood and from our adolescence. This is why it's our second adolescence. I really strongly believe in this. And so there's also a nervous system component that we can't ignore on this. And that is Bessel van der Kolk famously said, "The body does not forget what the mind tries to override." And years of hyper responsibility, emotional vigilance, and self suppression don't just disappear, like I just said. They surface. They often show up as fatigue. They give us emotional flatness. The desire to simplify shows up, and a pull towards stillness really starts to rise. And this isn't a collapse. You're not collapsing and you're not getting too old. It's the body reclaiming its authority. Really let that sink in. I'm going to give you a moment to think about that, and I'll be back with you in just a moment.
Life, we all move through seasons, moments of growth, change, challenge, and renewal. What if you could understand your inner seasons and learn to navigate them with clarity and purpose? Introducing Seasons of the Soul, a transformational system designed to help you tune into your emotional rhythms, align with your truth, and step into your next chapter. And now, for the first time ever, we're bringing this experience to a vibrant new home, the Seasons of the Soul School community. Inside school, you'll find guided tools, soulful teachings, and a community moving through life just like you. A place to learn, to grow, to be seen, to reconnect with yourself in every season. Seasons of the Soul, your journey, your rhythm, your community. Join us and begin your next season today.
So, survival mode always moves away from threat. A soul led life moves towards truth. And here's where many women get stuck. They think if I stop surviving, everything's going to fall apart. So, what's actually happening is a shift in your orientation. You're having to reorient yourself. And you're no longer meant to navigate by urgency, pressure, or expectation. You're learning to navigate by inner authority, emotional clarity, values, and presence. Bill Plotkin describes midlife as the moment when authority shifts from the tribe to the soul. And isn't that the truth? That's not a small transition to make. You're going from a moment of being in a tribe, like, where there is a lot of different support, to really listening to yourself. So that takes time. The patience is required and grace is required for you to give to yourself. So if you're listening and wondering what to do with all of this, I want to offer you a simple noticing, not a solution, just to notice this. Where are you complete with survival? And where are you ready to orient from within? Notice where that question lands in your body. It's not about fixing. It's not answering quickly. It's just simply noticing. So I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. I'd love to get your comments from this. So please leave me any kind of information that you would like to, share with us, because, these questions or these considerations of what's happening in our midlife are really important. And the more that we have a platform to relate to one another, the better we all can be. So until next time, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week.